Hey, welcome to Graphic Policy Television GPTV. I'm Brett. In my hands is The Walking Dead Deluxe number 36. So this is written by Robert Kirkman, art by Charlie Adler, Dave McCaig is the colorist, and Rus Wooton is the letterer. Right, so The Walking Dead Deluxe is a colorized version of The Walking Dead. They're releasing it issue by issue, generally every 2 weeks. Sometimes there's a little bit more of a break. And this is a great way to go back and reread the series issue by issue as it was originally released. And there's a little bit of extra at the back. Primarily, Kirkman puts in his notes for the issue, and then has a little bit of commentary about what his thoughts are about the notes and the issue itself. Alright, so as we ended last issue, Martinez disappeared with the fear of that he's going to go back to the governor and tell him where the prison is. So Rick goes on a mission to stop him and save the prison and protect everyone within. So yeah, I mean, it's a really interesting issue in that it is the end of an arc. It's a lot. It feels like an issue that has a lot of moments, but not necessarily a lot of moments that are connected, if this makes sense. It's a lot of like singular moments as opposed to one kind of bigger narrative that plays out with some moments within. And it's interesting like that. We get Carl kind of worrying that his dad doesn't love him. We get Glenn proposing to Maggie. We get Rick going to protect the prison. There's a lot here within, and the end is kind of the big one of like the governor is coming. It is foreshadowing and building up something that we know is going to happen, and for those who've read the series before, you know it's going to happen. So it's interesting actually going back to read this. I remember generally reading this when it first came out and being like, okay, and knowing that shit was going to hit the fan, the governor's going to attack, something's going to happen, never realizing kind of like how big that would be. But reading this again all these years later, knowing what's going to happen, it definitely hits a little bit different because you know what's going to happen and kind of how big of a deal that is. So it's got a little bit of different hit on the second read, which I think is kind of interesting. The art is generally pretty solid. I mean, the series hit its groove. I mean, it hit its groove a while ago, and the coloring looks good. There are a couple panels where I shrug my shoulders a little bit. The proposal section doesn't quite hit. The look on Glenn's face is almost like cartoonish and doesn't, I think, quite work as it did maybe in black and white. And there's some other small like panels here and there where it's just like, it feels like a little off. But generally, I mean, it still is a solid thing. I mean, the thing that really kind of surprised me is the Rick Martinez confrontation of just almost how anticlimactic it is in color. Like, you'd think that the violence, blood, all that stuff would be a bit more jarring, and it was with Michonne and the governor, but like this moment, it doesn't quite hit. Like, I think it might have actually been a bit more impactful when it was black and white, which I think is really, really interesting. So overall, like, this is kind of a bridge issue in a way, and I call things bridge issues a lot, where it's really to get you from point A to point B, and this feels like that point A to point B. It really is that kind of setup of, hey, here's what's going to come as we end this chapter and begin the next arc. So, overall, it's always a really interesting series. I think this one continues to kind of emphasize it's really about the characters, their actions, their community building, and like, how do you build the society after all this happens. So, it's always entertaining. My take is, if you're a longtime Walking Dead fan and you want to reread the series, getting it this way is really interesting and really fun, especially if you don't remember everything like I don't. And then the other would be if you've never read the series, this is a great opportunity to get it issue by issue like it was originally released and get a little bit bonus out of it. So that's my thoughts. If you want a copy yourself, we got a link beneath this video. Put in your zip code to tell comic shops near you. No shop, no problem. We do have some links where you can purchase your own copy. There'll be affiliate links, so you can get a small percentage by doing that to support our site. So thanks. If you are... And I, of course, want to thank you for watching, as always. Appreciate that. If you're into Skymount, if you're into Image Comics, for the comics in general, check us out every single day at graphicpolicy.com. We're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr, all at Graphic Policy, keeping it nice and consistent. Until next time, keep reading those comics, and keep it geeky. Hey, thanks for watching the previous video from Graphic Policy Television. Just by watching, you help support our site. Thank you so much. Now, if you're watching these videos, you probably care about geeky things like movies, television, comic books, toys, games, video games, you name it. You can go and subscribe right now to our YouTube channel to stay in touch and catch all the new videos, or check out our website at graphicpolicy.com. There's a nice link on this end of the video. But as always, thank you for watching. Keep on rocking and keep it geeky.